afternoon, South Africa. Super awesome Wednesday to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bonnie Mbuli.
Bonnie is clearly having a slow, I nearly said Friday. Both of us are having slow days today because it is a Thursday. It's Fashion Express Thursday.
It is a Thursday. The popularity of social networking and dating sites has grown the number of reported romance and online dating scams. If you've never heard of a romance scam, it's a type of deception where scammers connect with people on legitimate dating apps, social networking sites, and chat rooms in order to leverage people's goodwill to get money. We chat to SABRIC CEO Kalyani Pillay about dating and romance scams.
I mean, I'm obsessed with this idea. People are scammers out there, but it's up to us to be one step ahead, be vigilant, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. And it being February, the month of love, I think, guys, let's not be out here being mean.
Yeah, because everyone's desperate to get that date before Valentine's Day, so be careful.
Hey, the pressure is on. Now, and then after that, we chat to Sandile about the Township Opera Company, which is made up of trained and experienced opera singers from the townships of Cape Town. We also chat to, we visit Boiketlo Primary School, where actress Rami Chuene helps spread some goodness by helping learners get new school shoes. I love seeing the joy on those faces.
It's an incredible initiative. So I mean, getting a brand new pair of shoes at the beginning of the year is like, it just makes your year, basically.
100%.
Yeah. And for Fashion Express Thursdays, we meet fashion designer Thobey Cooper, who is able to overcome difficult challenges to own his fashion brand. It's amazing. It's called Thobey Cooper, and he'll be showcasing his stunning designs in the loft later on. Plus, Nicole Jennings shares some information on breakthrough devices for nasal allergies. So if your child suffers from nasal allergies, stay tuned.
Yeah, definitely. In our family, it runs deep. These nasal passages are always blocked up. So this is the season.
Yours get really bad.
Yeah, so we need to find out more about nasal sprays. I think I'm one of them. Now, remember, you can also connect with us via our social media platforms and let us know, how are you opening up the industry? By tweeting us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. Me and Bonnie were talking about this earlier, and this is such an incredible topic because I think that there's so many different ways to reach out there. Let's help each other. There's enough opportunities.
And also, if you're not opening up the industry and you feel you shouldn't open up the industry, you can also let us know about that.
But first, let's get to meet much needed information on how we can avoid being a victim of online dating scams.
We are brave, innovative, everywhere. We are SABRIC.
Now, did you know that statistics estimate that over 49 million people in the United States alone have tried online dating? There's been an undeniable surge in the use of online dating sites and apps in recent years, but with this technology comes great responsibility, and we need to be aware that it is an easy way for cyber criminals to seek out their victims. SABRIC CEO, the gorgeous one, Kalyani Pillay, is back in the loft to give us more insight into these scams and how they work so that we don't fall victim. Welcome back to the loft.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Lovely to have you with us. So obviously, the advent of social media and access to people so easily and so quickly, and also dating apps, has increased risks of being scammed.
Yes, absolutely.
How has that happened?
Absolutely. I think what happens is that the scamsters obviously know that people are vulnerable. It's a highly emotional issue, and unfortunately, they prey on those particular people. And what we found is that through social media, because people just publish all kinds of information and they don't realize how these criminals are actually out there trying to gather enough information about you. So they create profiles of themselves. Of course, it's not the correct, it's not a true profile. It's not a true photograph of them. You'd get this amazing picture of this handsome or gorgeous person with an amazing body, you know, put up there. And of course, what they do is that they create profiles knowing that they've picked up things from social media that people have published on their own, or they've gone ahead and put out. And so they almost tailor-make it so they get particular kinds of people responding. So it's become very targeted in terms of how they're doing it as well. And unfortunately, people are falling for it. And we're saying generally to people, not just bank customers, but to anybody, know that the terrible part of it is that most often it's a scamster. the things that you need to look out for is the fact that most often they'd have a job that involves lots of traveling, jobs that they're not in the country that they normally live in. You would never get them to Skype call you, because of course you're going to see who it is. So they'll start avoiding. They'll avoid why they can't Skype call, can't have a Skype call or a video call. So that you're not actually seeing them, because the picture they have there is of somebody else.
Yeah.
And also, there's a couple of things we're saying to people. Please, we understand that there's nothing wrong with a dating site or being on it, and many people have successfully met partners or made friends.
Gotten married and had children,
absolutely.
lived happily ever after.
But to look out for the signs, because ultimately what the person wants is money. Ultimately, that's what they're looking for.
Which brings me to my next question, right? So obviously, there's a lot of money that scammers have made. It's actually shocking how much money they do make.
Yes.
What are some of the tactics they use to get money?
So what they do is that they would first try and develop this relationship. They'd gain your trust. They're extremely forthcoming in terms of sharing their own personal stories.
They're so in love with you.
And you think, gosh, very often women would say men don't talk about their feelings and don't talk about things. They do all the right things. So of course they gain the confidence, they gain trust. And once they do that, they wait a little bit. They're not impatient. So it builds over a little bit of time. And then they make they may say to you they're coming to visit, and of course you're all excited. Or they may spin a story and tell you some sad story that somebody is very ill, and that's something to look out for. It's a very common thing. Their child is sick or their parents are sick and they desperately need to pay for medical attention. Unfortunately, because they're out of the country or they're traveling, they can't access their own money, and they just need to borrow it, and they will pay it back. Or alternatively, they would say they're coming to visit, and they create this whole wonderful situation. I mean, it's Valentine's Day next week. Everybody's in that sort of mode of wanting to celebrate. And of course, they would say, we were about to buy the ticket, but we couldn't access our funds. And then, unfortunately, women are just transferring money, paying for things, and then only to find out. And another thing, Bonnie, to look out for is that in the communications, sadly, it's the person's emotion, but you could be talking to 2, 3, 4 people. They have a whole room full of people who just
heard about that on dating apps.
Absolutely. They cut and paste, so look out for that as well. What you'd find is that if you have different looking fonts, different types of font, different sizes of fonts, they cut and paste because they're talking to a whole host of people
saying
at the
same thing.
And that's why you'll find very often they don't use your name. They won't say, hi, Bonnie. Yes, it'll be a generic sort of thing so that they can just cut and paste easily. You could even be talking to a female or male. It doesn't matter. You won't know. You really don't know.
Yeah.
But look out for those signs, and obviously go to the SABRIC website. Time's never enough to talk about all the things, but you'll find far more information about it. Just be careful. Don't be over-emotional about it. Try and stay calm and rational when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, I think falling in love online requires a lot of restraint and a lot of rationality, right? And if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Sure.
So next time, SABRIC CEO Kalyani Pillay teaches us how to #WiseUp and #WatchOut so that we know everything we need to know about staying safe and smishing.
I think it is important that even in matters of the heart, we always have to use our brain. Let's wise up and not fall victim. But after the break, we meet music director Sandile from the Township Opera House, which is a company that is very passionate about popularizing opera music in the township. I can't wait for that conversation. I'm really into opera, secret about me. But also remember to hit us up on social media and let us know how you are opening up the industry in your respective fields, of course. Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag #AfternoonExpress or comment on our Facebook page. See you after the break.
Clover Krush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Krush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. Scan for us.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, but. Yeah, don't block him there.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. Yeah. Oh.
45 seconds. Cable there. Fix the cable there. Good, right? Fix that cable.
What else you want, quick? Talk to me.
Now, the Township Opera House was formed out of a need to provide a platform for opera singers who were passionate about opera music but could not get access into the more prominent or renowned opera institutions. The thought behind the company was to enable the members to become shareholders and create a sustainable music career out of their love for opera. Welcome to the Loft. Lovely to have you with us.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah. Well, we're not meeting for the first time because we've worked together before. You're an actor as well.
Yes, I am.
Absolutely. So how did you come to form this group called the Township Opera?
Well, it all started a few years ago when we ran out of work because there's only one opera house which really operates in the country. So it's just a matter of give and take. It's either they take this, a certain group of people, or they take these groups. So we studied opera, most of us. And up until last year, May, we decided, let's just open our own thing and see where it's going to take us.
Wow.
So we opened in May, but we officially launched in September.
That's amazing. I mean, one immediately thinks of the amount of opera singers that there are in the township. There aren't that many. And also, are you in a process of trying to generate an appetite for opera music, or do you have to outsource other places where you perform?
There is an appetite for opera music, but the problem is access. There's a lot of appetite. That's the gap that we aim to bridge, because we feel that it's like opera is in town and then there's Ilogish. Then you'll find out there's this gap in between. So we're trying to
bridge that gap.
Yeah, bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a group, obviously, what makes you an opera group with a difference? This is really important, right?
It's funny. we just tailor everything. We have no limitations. We could set up a performance in an office, in an escalator, in a train, in a mall. We recently had carols in the forest, opera in the forest, and Christmas carols, and we had a show, a full-scale show.
Yeah.
Out of zero budget, of course.
That's amazing. And also, as mentioned before, all the singers are shareholders.
Yes, all 24 singers are shareholders, equal shareholders of the company, and we run the company ourselves.
Right. So obviously here you are trying to create a sustainable future and an income for yourselves out of your experience, your talents, and your love for opera.
Yes.
How's that going? Are you finding that challenging? If it's challenging at all, what are some of the obstacles standing in your way?
It is challenging because it's very difficult to get funding, especially in our country. So you'll find out that most singers, they start, graduate, and just go overseas. So it's hard, but since we're doing something that we love, we have passion about, so it's like, okay, fine, let's just do this.
Yeah, that's amazing. And are there avenues where you're teaching young people in the townships how to sing opera?
Yes, at the moment I'm busy with schools. Because it's something that I've been doing for the past 15 years. So we're trying to, to bring that into the Township Opera Company and bring some sort of an incubation kind of stage into this into the actual opera industry.
Yeah. And that sounds absolutely exciting. But that's not all from you. You're going to be performing for us a little bit later. You've brought your whole crew.
Yes. We have just a little bit of surprise for you.
Okay, awesome. So to perform a song by Marta Keane, here's the Township Opera with Homeward Bound.
In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, when the summer sees its gleaming, when the corn has passed its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I behold what bound in time, I be not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough, set me free to find my calling, and I return to you somehow. If you find it's me you're missing, if you're hoping I'll return, to your thoughts I'll soon be listening. In the road I'll stop and turn, then the wind will set me racing as my journey nears its end, and the path I'll be retracing when I'm homeward bound again. I be not to the pasture, chain me not to the plough, set me free to find my calling, and I return to you somehow. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, I'll be homeward bound
How could you not fall in love with music after that? Now, with over 30% of South Africans suffering from nasal allergies, we chat to Nicole Jennings about a breakthrough nasal allergy device that has just gotten the green light in South Africa. Plus, we spread a little goodness with Rami at Boiketlo Primary School after the break.
Clover Krush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Live with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express on this gorgeous Thursday afternoon. Now, Clover Krush is proud of its promise to spread the goodness above and beyond its great tasting juice. Now, as courtesy of Clover Krush, 20,000 students in communities across South Africa will be receiving a brand new pair of Smart Step school shoes. Now, to help spread the goodness, they've created a Clover Goodness Krew. And one of South Africa's most loved media personalities, Rami Chuene, is part of this exciting crew who is helping to bring new school shoes to deserving learners.
At Boiketlo Primary, actress, singer and author and mother, Rami was here to give away a pair of Smart Step school shoes to every child, courtesy of the Clover #CrushGoodness campaign.
The reason I wanted to be part of the Clover Krush Goodness campaign is that I think it's important to be able to participate, to contribute, to be part of a change, especially for the young kids at school. And I think this is a very interesting thing and a very selfless thing to do.
The reaction has been amazing throughout the journey. Look, we've seen even growth, you know? Every single child that we engage with is super excited, is happy, and they can feel the love, and they are able to share the goodness as well, you know, amongst themselves. Immediately after the show, you can see, even, you know, when you go around talking to them, they're like, share the goodness, so that stays with them. So it's been a great reaction throughout, bro.
When I was a student back in the day, like when I was wearing school shoes, I had a lot of classmates who came to school without shoes, and then we did not understand that it was because of lack. It was because parents couldn't afford to give their kids shoes or to buy them shoes. And you know, you could see how difficult it was for them, you know. And when we are able to give children school shoes, we're able to just empower them and say to them, listen, we'll take care of your feet and you take care of the rest. And I think it's a very good collaboration.
They were very excited to see Rami Chuene because they always see her on the TV, but now they have seen her personally. So it was a great pleasure for them, and they were so thrilled. I think these learners from now onwards, they will be able to come to school on time and every day, because others didn't have the shoes at all. But the most important thing is that they gave the shoes to all the learners. They didn't select, they just gave all the learners the pair of shoes.
Some of us, we didn't have shoes to come to school. We were techies, and that was not good because we just need to be the same as school.
I'm happy with my new shoes, and I thank to Clover Krush. I love you, Clover Krush.
I feel excited about this. I think Clover Krush has done a very, very good job. I would like to say that I am very, very excited and very pleased that they were able to come to this school and give us the new shoes.
When kids have shoes, brand new shoes, it validates them. It says to them, we see your walk. We acknowledge that you are taking good steps into the right direction. You must look at their faces. The kids get so excited. They just cannot believe that somebody thought of them. They can't believe that someone actually went out of the way, came here and said to them, okay, here are shoes, and these shoes are especially made for you. And I think that is something that is beautiful.
How I feel about my new school shoes, I feel that they are my size and they're going to last for me to the next year. I want to thank Clover for giving us the shoes.
I feel so blessed. This school is blessed. And I want to say thank you from Clover Krush, and we love Clover Krush, and yeah, thank you for these school shoes.
Remembering the entire community, next Krush shared the goodness with the nearby retirement home where so many of the children's grandparents live. Then it was on to bring smiles to the tiny tots of Pologo Drop-In Center.
It is only good and fair that goodness must spread from us to other people, and then it just goes on and on and on, and just builds until all of us were just filled with this electricity of goodness, hoping that it will bring positive change all around.
The Crush Goodness campaign is certainly one of my all-time favorite initiatives. It's so beautiful, and those nunus are so cute. Now, with over 30% of South Africans suffering from nasal allergies, we're all too familiar with the dreaded irritation of constantly sneezing and itching and just feeling completely helpless. Allergies are simply the worst, but in recent breakthrough medication, Pharma Dynamics have received the green light on a brand new allergy device that has been dubbed the game changer. Here to tell us all about it is Nicole Jennings from Pharma Dynamics. Hello, Nicole. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So it's research is showing that more and more children are suffering from allergies. Right?
Yes, that's right. So hay fever, which is essentially an allergic reaction to pollen, affects approximately 30% of South Africans. But new research shows that about 40% of these hay fever sufferers are actually children. And of course, allergies can have a massive impact on a child's quality of life in general, but also a child's ability to concentrate and to perform academically in school when they're constantly having to struggle with allergic reactions.
Absolutely. And also sometimes children don't know what's happening with them, so they can't communicate clearly about their symptoms, and it's just frustrating for them.
It's frustrating for them.
Yeah. So now Pharma Dynamics has received the green light for this breakthrough formula, and it's being dubbed the game changer.
Yes, that's
What is
correct.
it and how does it work?
All right, so we are very excited about bringing this molecule to the South African market for the first time. It's called hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose powder. We just call it cellulose powder for short, and the brand name is Nexa Allershield. So basically, this is a powdered nasal spray, and what it does is it forms a gel barrier on the inside of the nasal cavity and literally blocks allergens from entering the system. So where many of your treatments, like your antihistamines, for example, or some decongestants or steroids might treat the symptoms of an allergic reaction, Allershield actually blocks the allergens from entering. So it's more sort of aiming at prevention as opposed to just alleviating symptoms of allergic reactions. So essentially you just spray this powder into the nasal cavity and it will then form the gel barrier.
So it's an actual powder.
It's a powder and block allergies from entering the system.
Wow. I just want the viewers to see that again.
So it's Nexa Allershield.
And can you squeeze it for us once more?
So it's recommended that you hold this at the base of the nasal cavity, simply because it gives you more surface area for the powder to land and to coat the nasal cavity. Yes.
So would one then use this when having allergy symptoms, or just use it as a preventative measure all the time?
All right, so
allergy season.
Yes, so with hay fever particular, people tend to know when it is the hay fever season, when pollen is rife in the air. So in those instances, you can use your Nexa Allershield preventatively. It's recommended to use up to 3 times a day. So in the morning when you wake up, around lunchtime, and then before you go to bed. Many people also struggle with sneezing, throughout the night, which can also hinder sleep and that sort of thing. So it's also recommended before you go to bed to just use your Allershield, and that way you're just preventing all of the nasty pollen and all the allergens in the air from entering the system.
That sounds amazing. Now, I believe you also have a junior version of this product.
Yes, that's correct. So the Allershield, the cellulose powder has a very low side effect profile, and that is why it's safe for use in children. It's also safe for mothers who are breastfeeding or are pregnant, and generally recommended for children over the age of 18 months, simply because of the mode of delivery, the way that you utilize your Nexa Allershield. So as soon as your child starts school, they can start using this product, and also because it's a non-drowsy product. It's wonderful when it comes to being able to still concentrate and perform strongly academically while avoiding all those nasty allergy symptoms.
And lastly, is it available over the counter, and how cost effective is it?
Yes, Nexa Allershield is what we call a CAM, so it's a complementary and alternative medicine, but it does have up to 20 clinical studies that back the efficacy of the product. It is available without a prescription, very cost effective, retailing at 134 Rand approximately, and yes, available at most leading pharmacies in South Africa.
Well, it sounds absolutely amazing, and I love that it's natural. I'm definitely going to be trying that. So Nexa Allershield is available at all leading South African pharmacies and retails. And if you'd like to read up more information on this game-changing product, you can visit nexashield.co.za.
Pharma Dynamics, effective, affordable healthcare.
definitely a product to stock up on. I know a couple of people in my family who are going to need some of that nasal spray. Now for Fashion Express Thursdays, we zone in on a fashion designer, Thobey Cooper, who has overcome great obstacles to owning his own fashion label. Now he's here to showcase his latest range titled Back to Basics in the Loft. Now remember, you can also connect with us via social media platforms and let us know how are you opening up the industry by tweeting us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express or comment on our Facebook page. Otherwise, see you after the break.
Thank you so much.
Now, Thobey Cooper fell in love with the idea of making garments at a young age. He then started sketching his designs and sharing them with his peers.
Oh, indeed. And even though he matriculated with 4 distinctions, due to a lack of funds, he had to try other avenues to getting into the world of fashion.
Yeah. From humble beginnings, Thobey is now the owner of his own fashion label that produces high-end garments and casual apparel for men and women. Welcome, Thobey.
Thank you so much.
Well, you know, here on Afternoon Express, we love a story of resilience and just hard work, and also going about it the unusual route, right? And your story is pretty unusual. Tell us about your life growing up.
Okay. So I'm originally born and raised in the township of Lower Crossroads in Cape Town. I live with my mom, my sister, and my sister's little kids that I mentor now. I grew up there, and I went to a public school nearby, And then because I was interested in art and doing art, and then those opportunities were not available for me, my mother decided then to move me into a more Model C school that was based in Athlone. So I moved to that school, and life did not get easy because I had to travel on my own, and I was very young at that time.
You had to travel to school like something like 3 hours.
Yeah, so I would wake up at 5, and then I would only get to school at like 8 or past 8, and then I'm at school dismisses at 2, and I'll only get home at 5 in the evening, and it was really tiring.
That's so tough. I mean, I had a hard commute going to and from school. Yeah. It just makes you so tired by the time you have to start learning, and the isolation of it is a bit tough because you always spend a lot of time alone traveling around adults. Yeah.
But I can also imagine how much security within yourself it instills, how much strength within yourself it instills.
Absolutely.
Like, I can do this, I got this.
Yeah, it was. I learned to be independent as well, because it was dark in the morning when I had to travel to the bus stop, catch the bus. Then when I get home again, my mommy always got worried and contacted my teachers to, check in if I was okay. And I also had like ballet classes because I was doing a lot of, art activities that took me a bit longer to leave school and everything. So, but yeah.
I mean, you were raised by a single mom, but your mom sounds like she was very progressive and very open-minded to even expose you to all these different activities and arts. Do you find that she pushed you in that direction a lot?
Yeah, she did push me, and then she was interested in everything that I wanted to do. I started from dancing, and then I went on to designing, and then she didn't, have any doubt. She said, just do what you want to do and be happy, because this is your life, and, it doesn't help doing something that you don't love and then, living a miserable life at the end.
And I mean, your mom supported you so much so that I heard that she allowed you to cut up her curtains, her materials, her sheets, just for you to create.
Yeah, so she, when I wanted fabric and I didn't have anything, she'd always, look for her old curtains and then give them to me. And then I stole some of her garments as well, and then I deconstructed them and then reconstructed them again. And then she, she was very impressed with stuff that I did, and I think that's why she still believes in me so much.
Yeah. And when you pictured yourself as a designer and visualized the kind of work you wanted to do, what did you want it to invoke in people when they saw your garments?
So when I started out, I was more interested into like high fashion, doing ball gowns and for red carpets. But when I got into fashion school, I started falling in love with more like wearable art, and then I fell in love with menswear as well. So I'm doing high-end ready-to-wear at the moment, and I want to create garments that that have a statement, that tell a story. So there's always like interesting concepts behind my collections, and then they translate very well into my garments as well.
Yeah. And that transition, how did you find it? Going from a traditional, ordinary kind of contemporary high school, going into the creative fashion world and fashion school, how was the jump?
So I went to study at a private institution. So it was very difficult because there were, other learners that were more privileged than me. But I had to kind of keep up with the standard that they had. Some had their own cars. I also I still took public transport. So I also had to leave class so until the late hours of the evening.
Because you had to use the school's equipment.
Yes. So they let me use their machines, because sometimes I couldn't bring my own machines all the time to school and everything. And then they let me use the school machines. And then sometimes when I didn't have fabric, the lecturers would literally like buy fabric for me, and then so they were very, very, very helpful with my studies.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's nice when you know that everyone is backing you, supporting you, wanting to see you succeed. And now you have done exactly that. You've got Thobey Cooper. Talk to me about your line. You've already touched on the fact that it's ready to wear, but it's couture, amazing garment pieces. Who is your target market?
So as I said, based on high-end ready-to-wear. So I offer garments for mid to upper class wage tax bracket, and then I also love somebody that's willing to take risks. You need to walk into a space and everybody needs to notice you. I'm all about prints. I'm all about colors, as you can see. I love using a lot of color, and then I'm gender fluid as well, so kind of blurring the lines between women and menswear, you know, bringing them together to make garments that can go from a lady to a guy as well.
Yeah.
So that's what my brand is about.
I also love that you are very, it's important for you to give back, and you understand that your success must translate to paying it forward. So you've started something called Fierce, an internship program.
Yes, so I started Fierce Cape Town, and it came about when I got a lot of, you know, inboxes from people wanting to model for me and everything. And then, you know, I was like, okay, let me start something that, you know, can help, you know, help these people. And then I started Fierce Cape Town, which is a modeling competition where I collect a number of models that then model for me, and then we give them challenges until we find, you know, our ultimate winner, and then they get signed by a modeling agency as well that represents them, and then we open doors
like a next top model type thing.
Yes, kind of thing. So that's my end vision, for it to be on television one day, and then for me to be able to host it and touch more lives.
I love that. And, you know, here we're talking about opening up the industry and what everyone is doing in their communities to open up the industry. And you've done exactly that with another initiative, the Thobey Cooper, what is it?
So
internship.
it's Fashion Interns with Thobey Cooper. Yes. So the Fashion Interns with Thobey Cooper, and then when I was in high school, I didn't do design. So it was kind of difficult for me to get into a fashion institution because I didn't know anything about preparing portfolios to apply and everything. So I'm kind of like in the lookout for students, for learners that are in public school and interested in doing art after high school, and then I'm helping them, you know, get an idea, a basic idea of what design entails, and then I help them apply as well into fashion institutions, and then I help them with basic sewing skills and everything, so that I can help prepare them for, you know, a better future.
Wow.
Wow, that's incredible, Toby. Your story is very inspiring.
Thank you
But you've
so
also
much.
brought some garments with you
Yes, I
that
have
you're going to
some
showcase
garments,
for us.
yes,
We
that I
can't
wanna
wait to see them.
Okay, so we've got our first look up here. Please may you talk us through this look?
So the first look, the collection is called Back to Basics. So Back to Basics is basically about going back to what, you know, people know and expect, you know, a basic pair of pants, paired up with a basic pair of turtlenecks, and you throw over, you know, a basic waistcoat that's made, you know, more feminine and more gender neutral. So yeah, that's what the first look is about.
Lovely. Why is gender neutrality so important to you?
You know, I don't believe in gender, although there is gender, but I believe in equality and not just people living their lives and being together, you know. So I think I want to kind of express that topic through my clothing.
Through your fashion.
Yeah, so because it's a very huge movement.
Absolutely. So what do we have next?
You tend to not shy away from color, but I see in this look, you've decided to go for a more monochromatic look.
Yeah, so I decided to tone down on some of the looks because I also want to kind of make room for other men that, you know, are not yet ready to explore with color as well. So that I'm bringing them into my brand, and then we'll kind of then influence them into going bolder as time goes on.
I love a good fashion brainwash.
Yeah. I really love this.
Thank you so much.
Stunning. And I can see that you are very neat, the craftsmanship on the pants, on that top. I don't know if you would call that the top a jacket or like a waistcoat.
Very clean lines.
So it's like a jacket, but it's deconstructed, you know, and then I brought in the bows because they're into, you know, that kind of silhouette is in fashion right now. So I
love
thought, why not bring it in menswear?
Okay, what do we have next? I think this is more of a ballet dress. It's playful.
That's totally
it's
a ballet
cute.
dress.
Yeah. That off the shoulder though still keeps it kind of flirty and fun, which is so amazing.
And then I decided to play more like with some fabric manipulation in the arms as well to bring more volume. It's so structured, but still so you know, free and flowy on the body, making a woman feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I love flowy dresses.
It's a great summer dress for sure. And Honey is working it.
She is. She's enjoying wearing
it.
it.
She mustn't get too comfortable because I'm coming for it after the show.
Okay, and let's go to the next one. Okay, what do we have here?
So this is also more of our clean kind of gentleman. It's very formal. It's very, basic, a basic classic shirt. So it's items that never go out of fashion. Shirts, you can always wear shirts over and over and over, basic silhouette of pants and everything. So that's more of the kind of vibe I went with this look.
I mean, with already keeping it very classical and you incorporating these old style looks, I'm very curious to know, where do you see the brand going in the future?
So in the future, I don't want to only be a fashion brand. I want to be a lifestyle brand. I'm also interested in cosmetics, and I want to go into shoes and bags as well.
Look at you.
And then, so that's where I'm going with.
What's that print on that shirt that's peeking out of that?
Yeah. So it's more of like hot dog plants. So it was, I'm so in love with nature, so I tried to bring in, a bits of nature into my garments.
That's beautiful. I love how it's just subtly peeking out of there. I also pick up an Asian flavor in your clothing. Is that deliberate?
Yeah. So I always try to bring in, different cultures as well. Because I respect a lot of culture and I want to be a voice.
Yeah, I can see that. It's lovely.
I see what you mean now about kind of keeping it gender fluid, because those pants could come across as a skirt.
Yeah, but they're pants, and then a woman can also wear those kind of, pants, and then, with maybe a blouse or anything, and then it can be worn by a gentleman as well.
Nice.
Wow, a confident gentleman.
Yeah, confident gentleman.
You're going to need to be confident.
Very.
You're going to need to want to stand out.
Yeah. So a lot of viewers at home who want to go into fashion design, who have a vision and want to make that transition, what advice would you have for them?
So I would just say, take the first step. Whatever you're thinking in mind and, where you see yourself, you are already there. You just need to work for it, and then you will get there. Because,
That's
with all the things that I'm doing, I believe that they will be as big as I, envision them in my mind.
Honey.
And that's why I'm still working towards those.
Yeah. And I'm sure your design school is so proud of you, and they're so happy that they contributed to your journey, because look what you've done with it.
They are, a lot of them. I'm sure they're watching. And I'd like to say thank you so much to them and my family as well, and everybody that supports my journey. They just keep on supporting, and I'll keep on surprising them.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
Shout out to your mom.
I was going to say, Bonnie is in my brain. Shout out to Mom, she rocks. You're young, you're 23, and you've accomplished so much. The sky's the limit.
Thank you so much.
So we continue the chat with our amazing guests after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're back on the couch with our amazing guests, and we just wanted pick your brains about the idea of opening up the industry, because you've both done that in your respective fields. You've done that in opera, in the Township, and you've done that in fashion.
Yes.
And why is that important for you?
I think it's important for me to bring in, new and fresh designers into in the industry, because they learn so many new things at design school that, the designers that are already in the industry did not, learn. And then I think, the fusion between them and then the new designers could work so well. And then, job shadowing is also a very important thing where, the big designers can job shadow the younger designers to give them more opportunities in South Africa, so that, they don't, kind of look for opportunities after school and don't have anything to do. So if they collaborate and open doors for these young people, South Africa can change, and then the economy can grow, very much.
Good. Sandile, what I want to find out about you, what I like about the opera school that you guys are running, the opera house that you're running, is that they trained and educated. But a lot of people, with this conversation of opening up the industry, a lot of people might just have the raw talent, even for fashion design, and they might have the ear to hear the music, but might not be trained. How do you navigate the conversation? How important is formal training in opening up opportunities to people?
Formal training is very much important, because that's what most of us went through, formal training, because you get taught on how to preserve the voice, especially when you're sick, you understand? So as much as we trying to train the young ones to follow us, we also trying to create a trend of learning how to sing, and not just go on stage and say, okay, fine, I can sing, that's it. You have to go beyond that to learn, and trust me, there are do's and there are don'ts in singing. Some people think things are, okay, you're a singer, okay, sure, I can sing, everyone can sing. Not true. Not true. It is as hard as it can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's that conversation that it doesn't just take talent.
Yeah.
Talent is just the base note. There's so much more that you need to add to that. And also, the more you grow in an industry, the more you learn about how much you don't know yet.
Yeah, we learn every day.
Yeah,
we learn every day.
Yeah. I think for me, it's always a combination between the education, the talent, the passion, because you're nothing without passion for anything that you do. Because there will be tough days where you don't want to wake up. There will be days where you really have all the love for it, but it's tough. Yeah. It does get tough, so that passion will wake you up every single day.
That's one of our punchlines, Township Opera, passion, innovation, dedication. So it's all in there.
Congratulations to both of you. I also just absolutely want to honor you for not being afraid to share what you have and feel like sharing it is not losing anything. So, well done.
Thank you so much.
Well done again. I'm so excited. This is exactly how you wrap up a week. But we've got one more episode of Afternoon Express left for you this week. So join us again tomorrow as we wrap up the week with veteran actor Hamilton Dlamini and a performance from the musician Usibo Nzuza. And we also chat to writer Utegofatso Sene. Otherwise, see you same time, same place tomorrow. Thank you for making our day every day just by tuning in.
Good night. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.